Good morning. It's Wednesday 16th of May. In terms of days, I think it's about 45 or something like that on the trail. I'm about mile 615. All's going well. It's a beautiful morning up in the Appalachian hills. In fact, let's see if I can show you where I'm going. You come for a little bit of a walk with me. Nothing too strenuous today. Before I go anywhere, I have to do a bit of a mention for someone. A couple of months ago, I got an email from a friend who I used to go back to school with. Used to go to school with back home, Philippa, and she's a teacher now at Curdford and Plastow Primary School. And I got an email from her saying, "Would you like to come in and talk about walking and mountains?" Now, initially, being a selfish bloke that I am, I said no. But there was good reason behind it, and that's basically because I'm not very good at public speaking. I've kind of shied away from it all my life, so that was the initial reaction, and I said no. And then I sort of dwelled on it for a couple of weeks, and I thought, no, you can do a speech in front of a bunch of 12-year-old kids. I'm sure they'd enjoy it, kind of like be giving something back. So I did, and it went very, very well. At least I thought it went very well. I thought I was going to struggle to talk for 15 minutes, but ended up doing it for about an hour and a quarter. So anyway, we had a little bit of competition. I used to have a couple of trekking poles called Click and Clack, which I used on the Camino and PCT. I lost one on the PCT, and I bought a couple of new ones. One of which is currently holding the camera up, and the other one's just here. And I never named them, so I thought it'd be good to get the kids involved and see if we can name the trekking poles, so to speak. So I had the results a couple of weeks later. There's no prize as such, but I said I just mention the winner's name on the blog and send a postcard as well. There's some good suggestions in there. One chap come up with north and south, as in north and south poles, which I thought was pretty good. But the winner, I'm going to check her name, I think it's Charlotte Evans. Yeah, Charlotte Evans. Which has got nothing to do with trekking or walking whatsoever, but I just found it really funny when I saw it. So the winner is Charlotte Evans. She came up with Bubble and Squeak. So that's what my trekking poles are called now. And I do know which way around they are. I do know how to tell them apart. So Charlotte, thank you very much for that. Hello to everyone at Curdford and Plastow Primary School, and I'll get a postcard off to you as soon as possible. Let me just change hands. So, I'm about mile 615. I stayed at somewhere called the Wapiti Shelter last night, which is only about the 5th time I've slept in a shelter, but there was plenty of room. And it's nice to know you're out of undercover for the rain for a while anyway. And I'm on my way this morning to a place called Woods Hole Hostel, which has got one hell of a reputation with AT hikers. Hospitality is apparently fantastic. It's a cheap place to stay. There's everything that you could possibly wish for. So it's only 7 miles from the shelter, although it was a bit of an uphill this morning. So I'm just having a nice slow plod this morning. I should get in for 10:30. Maybe with a bit of luck catch them doing the last remnants of breakfast. Today is Wednesday, so tomorrow I'm going to take a zero, and then I've got to go back down to Damascus, which is about maybe 100-150 trail miles back. Not walk, I should say. Got to try and get a ride down there for something called Trail Days, which is a huge gathering every year in this little place called Damascus. I think someone said the population is normally 1,000, and during Trail Days, after everyone's descended on it, It's 25 to 30,000 people apparently. A lot of tents, a lot of food, probably a lot of drink. A couple of people I really want to see, a couple of equipment suppliers. Should be some friends, hopefully, from the PCT a couple of years ago that I'll bump into. So I'm really kind of looking forward to it. It does, unfortunately, mean about 3 days off, because I'll probably come back Saturday evening, then get going on the trail again, but it's good to take a couple of days out once in a while. What other news have I got for you? I haven't seen any bears yet, although apparently the other day, I forget the guy's name, I think it was a guy called Honey Badger was walking about 50 yards behind me. He said, "Did you see those bear cubs?" when we finally met up at a road crossing, and I'm like, "What bear cubs?" And he said, "Those bear cubs running through the forest about 50 yards off to your left," and I'd never even seen them apparently. There have been some bear sightings. There's been a couple of incidences where they've taken food as well, but I haven't seen any. I've seen a lot of deer the last couple of days. A few snakes, big rattler. The news really the last week or so has been the weather. Up until about a week ago we've been so lucky with the weather, especially the first 2 weeks was really hot, it was beautiful. But the last week, especially the last 2 days, we've had quite a lot of rain. I've managed to stay dry. Sorry, I thought that was just something moving up in the woods. I managed to stay dry, tent's doing pretty well. But when it rains up here, it absolutely throws it down. I was in the forest yesterday and I was just walking along and I just heard this noise. It was like a hissing noise, or like a really windy noise, and I turned round and I thought it was wind coming through the trees behind me. And I kind of paused and I thought, oh my God, that's rain. It was the start of a rainstorm, and all I saw, well, I heard it really, just this huge roar coming straight at me, and it just looked like a wall of water just coming through the forest. And I'm just like off with the pack, scrabbling to get my poncho on, put my umbrella up, and I just about made it. But you get really huge deluges. There's no like little bits of rain out here. It's either heavy or it's not. But somehow we're managing to stay dry. The tent's doing okay. If it looks like it's going to get rain, you get weather reports back from other hikers who check it out, try to get in the shelter, but I don't really like sleeping in them that much. I'd rather be in the tent. Today they said it was going to brighten up, and it appears it has. Excuse me, snorting there. So that's it really. Body's in good shape. Even the feet are still doing good, despite being done 24 miles the last couple of days, as in 24 miles a day, not 24 miles over 2 days. So 2 days of 24 miles in the wet, and even when it stops raining, sometimes the trail, it's just like a creek or a stream bed. So you're like walking through a stream, so you just give up on your feet, they just get absolutely soaked. Of course, you get into camp at the end of the day, and your feet are in a right old mess. I still haven't got any blisters, thankfully, but they're just all wrinkled up. It's not a very pleasant thing to look at. I won't go into the details, but I suppose if I can post a picture for you at some point. Anyway, that's it. Hope you're all enjoying the blog. Thanks for the emails, especially the comments about my book, The Last Englishman. I get a few emails every week from people that have bought it and have read it and said they absolutely love it, which is well, it's kind of very humbling. It really makes it all worthwhile. So thank you everyone for that. Hopefully I'll get this posted up today if I'm getting down to the hostel. I think they've got a bit of Wi-Fi down there, so you might even get this the day it was recorded. I'm going to try and do one of these every week or so, although I can't get internet access every week, but I'm trying to update the blog for sure every 2 weeks, if possible every week. But anyway, hope you're doing alright. I've got to go for a walk.